We've lost the music. Are you there? Are you there? We've lost the music. We've lost the music. And I think we have indeed exhausted like 20 minutes, 26 now to be precise. Can we start the show now? More music? More music?
Yes, I think we're ready to go.
Your mic is muted. Your mic is muted. I'm yours truly. I'm also Olua Abiodun and the Movement Radio Nigeria. I'll pass the mic now to our Movement Radio correspondent in Abuja. How are you doing today? Movement Radio Abuja. Please kindly get right to it and introduce yourself to our audience once again.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Abdullah Salisu from Abuja. And we look forward to a very robust interactive discussion with each and every one of you. Your contribution is very important to us. Your opinion is helping one way or the other, encouraging someone and encouraging us to know what we're doing is actually making impact. And today's topics are topical issues that each and every one of you will have one or two things to say. So we look forward to have a very good, nice, respectful interaction with all of you across all our platform. Do well to join us in the X so that you have an audio conversation. And in all the platform you can drop a comment so that we can read it in the studio, and then we'll also interact with you. Thank you once again, and you are welcome to the show. This is Movement Radio.
And of course, we also have Movement Radio, Lagos, and of course, we'll pass the mic to Ifeoluwa. Ifeoluwa, are you there? Please unmute your mic and introduce yourself to our audience today. Ife, are you there?
Okay.
Yes, please
evening,
proceed.
sir.
Introduce yourself. Yeah, let's get to know you. Let our audience get to know you.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone. My name is Kayode Ifeoluwa from Nigeria, Lagos State.
Thank you so very much indeed. And today's show will be very special as always, and we want to bring to you very interesting articles that we think that the Nigerian media, should indeed feature in their news bulletin, but they have failed in doing their job in bringing these very articles to you. And well, we hope we're able to do justice to these articles, and we are indeed waiting for Movement Radio Chicago to indeed project it on the screen. Or can I go ahead to project what I have with me here on the screen so that our correspondent in Lagos can read? Okay, let me project it on the screen so that we can get it going.
Very, sir.
Okay.
Very, sir.
take us through it and read um and well, let me take this off the screen so we can, yes. Let me take this off the screen. Maybe it's interfering to what is going on from that other side of things. Yeah. You are still not audible.
Can
Or
you
can
hear me now?
everybody hear? Okay, you are audible now.
Okay, very good. Sorry for that technical delay. Um, I'm hearing some noise background, so everybody should hold off their mic. Okay. Can you hear me?
We
Can you
can.
hear me clearly?
Yeah, if you are, can you off your mic? Off your mic. Okay, she has off it. She has off it.
Okay, good. We're sorry for that technical disturbance. Um, my name is Alaba Ferreira from Chicago for the Movement Radio. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, wherever your geographical location is, east, north, south, or west, whatever time zone you might be in, morning, afternoon, we wish you a good tidings. Welcome to our show for today. Today's show is loaded and packed with activities. We want to bring you a very renowned Togolese writer's perspective of the African situation in terms of our governance from independence to the present day in the name of Farida Bemba Noborema. She's a renowned writer and an activist and a fighter. She did a submission to she gave a keynote address to the Joseph Cobell School of Global Affairs. In her address, we find this very pertinent to our situation, and we decided to bring you this to you, our viewers, and hear your view on it, on how authoritarian system persists in Africa. Even though in Nigeria we tend to do pseudo democracy where we have a replacement of leadership every 4 years or so, the condition of our people still remain the same. So in this paper she submitted to the Joseph Cobell School of Global Affairs, she gave some very interesting discovery. What she wrote down were quite a moment of clarity for me personally, and I believe this is something that needs to be shared with the Nigerian populace. And we're going to go over the article. I'm going to read the summarized version. Then we're going to give you a PowerPoint. We're going to break that out between each correspondent on the key points of what she has to say exactly in her article. But apart from that, what other things we have in stock for you is today also we want to talk about the concept of the IMF versus Nigeria. Also, an interesting write-up by Lanre Abuma Ayorinde about the people's hardship and the real cost of conformity. Also, on the other hand of the list is we also want to bring you something from Zainab Suleiman, who's also been a very renowned Nigerian artist that pen points to paper in a very detailed and very relationship forum format. And so these are the things we have in stock. Also, we will talk about some aspect of our culture that is dying, and then we would acknowledge the point of not all heroes are heroes. We want to thank you for joining us from wherever location you're joining us from. And I'm going to start by reading Farida's article, and I'll give you a summarized version of it, whichever one is faster for us to do. We don't want to bore you or waste your time. Um, in this submission she made to the Joseph Cobell School of Global Affairs at the University of Denver, she identified 5 key ways through which African population have been trained into political compliance. Political compliance is what we have interpreted as the zombification of Nigerians. If you wonder why, despite 65 years of purported independence on paper, Nigeria is still backsliding into the Stone Age, and it's because the colonialists have really not really done much in changing our mind frame, but handed over what they changed was just the color of the of colonialism. It was white colonialism, and in 1960, what just changed what's like this. I'm going to be detailed on that paper, and then we're going to talk about this point and see whether you agree or disagree with what she's raising. Firstly, she stated of the 5 points she listed, actually there were 7 points if you have to put international issues into it, but we're going to focus first on 5, and then we'll add the other 2 later. The first is education. She calls it colonial education, whereby the curriculum we inherited from the British, the French, the Portuguese, or whatever administrations was not designed to produce citizen. It was not designed to produce citizen. It was designed to produce a particular kind of subject. That means a particular kind of people, one who understood authority as anything to be respected rather than questioned. That is the type of educational curriculum that is being impacted to us, even for those of us who have left the country, and for those who are still in the country since 1960. You're being impacted to not question authority. That's the type of education you receive, whether you have a bachelor's degree, you have a master's degree, or a PhD degree. It's the kind of it was designed to produce the specific kind of subject who understood authority as something to be respected and not questioned, and who experienced his own political transition as a shame. So therefore, we were raised to condemn everything that is originally African. That's why when we were growing up in schools, they would say, do not speak vernacular, vernacular being our own local language. We have been indoctrinated that it is only when you speak good English or you speak good French or good Portuguese that you've been educated. That's a mind-washing brain of education. So that was the first point she raised about education, that all of us who claim to be currently educated now, we never really received an education. For example, when I was growing up, we were taught how Mungo Park discovered the Niger. She was taught also in school about the genealogy of the French kings rather than the precision of the history of governance of our ancestors. So none of this form of education has really come to help us. And that's the first thing. So when an educated Nigerian is talking about the state of their country, you wonder why they're talking off point, or they're not talking in relation to what is dealing with their people, where they are not in connection with their people, is because of the type of education or curriculum that we currently have. So the second thing she talks about in this paper was, the second is economy of obedience itself, whereby a system endures not primarily through terror, although we do have terror in some of our governance in Africa, but because the structure itself is between politics and compliance, and material survival cannot be separated. So essentially, if you don't comply with your political leaders, there's a strong chance that you won't be able to survive. You won't be able to get a job. You won't be able to get employment. You won't be able to get a scholarship, market license, import authorization. You won't even be able to get an health clinic. So therefore, it is what the government says that you have to comply with. That's the economy. This is called she called this the economy of obedience. You have no choice to follow that your stomach infrastructure for survival. You have to collaborate, because the scaffolding of your daily life has been designed to make non-collaboration economically catastrophic for you. For example, when you sometimes look at all those PhD professors rigging election, you got to look at, sometimes they have to, because their salary is tied to it, or the bribe they're going to receive is tied to it, and that bribe is what sustains their family. So that's what she's talking about, the economy of obedience. The third point she actually made is that each of our individual family as a site of control. For we Africans, we are very loyal and obedient to our family, and the family is conditioned in such a way that if you are not in if your condition of economic precariement, the individual who is considered a dissident must calculate not only your own risk, you must also calculate the risk you impose on your parent. For example, if you put yourself out there as a union leader or an activist or someone who is fighting on behalf of the people, and the structure comes after you, it will come after you, not just you. Them coming after you is going to affect your immediate family, it's going to affect your siblings, your children, your cousins. So as a result of that, you will watch people of intelligence and moral clarity. That's what she wrote. People of intelligence and moral clarity, they retreat from political engagement. They don't get involved because it is dangerous to their family. They don't get engagement, not because they are afraid of themselves, but because they could not justify the devastating exposure that their activism will bring to their families. So the authoritarian state like we have in Nigeria now does not need to threaten anyone. It just only needs to ensure that the threat to one is visible and is comprehensible to all. It's understandable by all. They don't need to punish everybody. They just need to pick the leader and deal with the leader. Then the rest of you will back up. So the fourth one she talks about, and this is very good, is that of religion. In many parts of Africa, religion institutions have been deployed not by the most honest practitioners. We have adopted the wrong form of religion, not the pure form, and then we have adulterated it. We have what's the word? I'll just use our own words so that I don't misquote her. He said, religion institutions have been deployed not by their most honest practitioners, but by their most politically convenient ones to transmit a theology of earthly resignation and other worldly reward that discourage political engagement. So the pastoral instruction to render unto Caesar what is Caesar sits very comfortably with interest of Caesar, who has no intention of rendering anything to anyone. So liberation theology, which in Latin America produced an extraordinary tradition of religiously grounded political resistance, has been a far more contested reception in much of African Christianity and Islam, partly because the direct entanglement of many religious institutions with state power, which has made spiritual authority and political compliance structurally allied, meaning that because the mega churches like the Redeemed, the Adeboyes, the Oyedipos, the Oyakilomens, and all the rest, they are so close to power that they are structurally allied with them. And the type of theology they teach, they don't teach much of gospel of salvation, or in Islam, whatever gospel is actually there, it's been mutilated to be the kind of gospel whereby you're more worried about your earthly gains. Some people call it gospel of prosperity. You understand? And so these, as part of the things that has weakened us and zombified us as Africans. And then the last one she talked about was the media. And we here in the Movement Radio have been warning our audience about listening to the mainstream media. The fifth is the media. In most authoritarian African contexts, state and privately owned media align with power and do not typically practice crude propaganda. No, they don't overtly put the propaganda in your face. No, they practice something more subtle and more durable. The selection of what is visible, what is invisible, the framing of social problems as a natural phenomenon rather than a political choice. That's why the concept of Nigeria has happened to you has become a phrase. It's like it's inevitable. Nigeria must happen to you. It's God ordained. It's natural. Even the media presents it like that. They present it's called subtle propaganda. It's called social engineering. And they've been doing that from the days of the NTA since we were growing up 55 years ago, 65 years ago, up till now. It's gotten worse now. So when you listen to the likes of the Arise, the channels, the NTA, the LTV, you're being socially engineered to be a zombie, to be in compliance with what the authorities are doing to you, even if it's not good. So she highlighted this, that even our film industry that you see participate, all your Nollywood in this discipline, is their own way through which the systemic promotion of their narratives that depicts poverty and wealth as a condition of fate or personal failure, stories in which the distance between the poor and the rich has everything to do with luck. If you look at most of your Nollywood stories, most of the films you watch, this is what is telling you it's happening. So talent or divine favor had nothing to do with power. So if you have talent, it has nothing to do with power. So policy or deliberate engineering of inequality. So I'll read it exactly as she has it. She said, the film industry participates in this discipline in its own way through the systemic promotion of narrative that depicts poverty and wealth as conditions of fate or personal failure. Stories in which the distance between the poor and the rich has everything to do with luck, talent, or divine favor, and nothing to do with power, policy, or the deliberate engineering of inequality in your environment. So it is the cumulative effect of these things over the years, over decades. We're talking 65 years or more, that we produce the type of population we have in Nigeria, a population whose political imagination has been narrowed to a point where alternatives are genuinely difficult to conceive, not because the alternatives do not exist, but because the political ecosystem has ensured that they remain invisible. That is why most Nigerians have gotten to the stage whereby Nigeria is irredeemable. Oh, you can't change Nigeria. Nigeria cannot be changed. It's because you have been engineered over time through the media to think like this, through Nollywood, through everything you have been consuming, that this change is not feasible. This change is not possible. You cannot fight the government. I even remember when I was young, my grandmother would tell me, you can't fight the government. All those days I was expelled from school. So these are the type of engineering that's taking place. So she listed these 5 points. So these are the operating manual that allows, when they say authoritarian system, they mean dictatorship like you have now with the APC. They mean government that are dangerous form of authoritarian, because the citizens are deceived into believing they are living. No, she now argues, this is very important. Just very important. She argues that authoritarian today is not limited to regimes with a known dictator who has held power for decades, like the Eyademas, the guy in Cameroon, Paul Biya, and all the rest. No, he's saying it extends equally to regimes that perform a change of leadership through a placebo election. A placebo means you're just going to vote. They've already selected your leader. You don't have an input into that voting. That's a placebo election conducted every 4 to 5 years, producing a new face every 8 to 10 years, while the same system of impunity remains structurally intact. She also argued that, in fact, it is more dangerous form of authoritarianism. She's telling you that the type we have in Nigeria is even more dangerous because we change leadership every 5 to 10 years. We have a new face. There was the time it was Shagari, then it was Babangida, then it was Abacha, then it was, what do you have it? Obasanjo, then it was, what's his name? Jonathan, and then Yaradua, and then now you have a Miloko. So it's even dangerous. So you're thinking it's a placebo effect. It's a false percent while the real system remains. So we believe she's raising a very valid point we should bring to the people so the people know what situation they're in. So he said this is more dangerous form of authoritarianism because the citizens are deceived into believing they are living under a democracy when they are in reality governed by plutocrats. Plutocrats are people who steal their money and have been convinced there's nothing to fight at all. This is why it's more dangerous. At least the citizens are an obvious dictatorship knows that what they are fighting. They fight a dictatorship. But with the type we have, you've been convinced that we have a democracy now. There's nothing to fight. There's nothing to change. So they tend to stand on a higher moral ground. Why they are not? And that's what she's arguing. This is what Farida is arguing, and that you watch the votes. You vote every 4 or 5 years, but the watches a new face take oath, and you mistake the performance of transition for the substance of change. Because you're changing leadership doesn't mean your environment is changing. In fact, it's not. It's getting worse. Now you end up with no voice, no justice, no agency, and worse, no drive to fight for your own dignity. For one can only fight for liberation after acknowledging one's condition of oppression. That's the fact she's making. So Farida Bemba Noberema, this 36-year-old genius, is addressing our problem from the core areas. One, colonial education that we have not yet decided to change. Even our judges are still wearing white man's wig. Two, the economy of obedience. Your job is tied to you obeying a dictator or a bad government. Three, your family controls how you behave in public. Four, it's religion preaching the wrong thing to you and you imbibing it. And the last is the media, from your entertainment media to your news media. They've conditioned you to believe that you're okay. You have reached the promised land. Democracy is the promised land, but it's a democracy that does not have your input, that does not have the will of the people or the say of the people. So there you are with the Nigerian problem facing you right in the face there. Although she added two more points about international community, affecting us, like for example the international financial institution like the IMF and the World Bank. These are structural adjustment program from the 80s and 90s has led to reduced public expenditure and privatization of most public resources. So this has diminished the state's capacity to provide public goods, increasing economic vulnerability for the people and transforming the logic of political loyalty towards predatory politics and increased authoritarianism. So predatory politics is the politics whereby you're the meal on the table. They want to eat you. They're cooking you up like a chicken to be killed, or a cow to be killed. They're feeding you up, and you're the ones they're feeding. You're nothing to the politicians, but a resource that they have to use because they have to answer to IMF. They have to answer to the International Monetary Fund and the World Bank, who is telling them to do those things to you because it's an exploitative, it's a continuous, it is continuation of colonialism. And that is why you find yourself in the condition you are. And then she talks about the last one, which is the arms trade. And if you, brother to brother, want to now discuss and fight each other over this issue, they will sell arms to both of you for you guys to kill each other. So that's the way the international community makes sure that you remain in poverty. So the consistent supply of weapons from Western defense industry to African establishments sustain the cohesive infrastructure of authoritarian states. That's why it's not easy for you to just say you want to remove Tinubu. So this includes direct involvement in human rights violation through the use of weapon and surveillance. The Boko Haram and the kidnappers now, somebody is supplying them arms. It's not you. So somebody international is supplying them, and they are more armed than your military. So these are the 7 key points that has made you a zombie. And this lady, very intelligent lady, has brought it to fore. And we believe here on the Movement Radio, these are issues we should discuss, we should talk about, and share with each other how this. So we have the Map Minds version of it, which I believe both Ibukun and Abdullah Salisu would break it down for us in the pidgin fashion, because the one I was reading was more grammatic and more full of big English. But because when we talk to each other as Africans, we have to talk to each other at a level where we understand each other, at the language we understand each other. Like Fela said, you talk Oyibo pass the English, man. The market woman cannot understand the big English you're speaking. The locals cannot understand. So you got to find a way to break it down. This is what we do here at the Movement Radio. So we have it right in graphic format, the politics of political obedience by Farida Bemba Noborema. I hope I didn't destroy that name. I could give you a brief history about who she is after Ibukun and Abdullahi and Ife breaks this down in the local, easier language to understand, whereby we can proceed further and move forward. But so this is our main topic for the, in fact, this is why the Movement Radio exists, so that we can start to break down those 5 structures or 7 structures she highlighted in our community, so that we can have a change and we can have your inputs into what you think. Do you think, for example, our questions coming out of this, have we received the right form of education, or we received the colonial education? Is that helping us? Has that helped us? So these are questions we want to discuss with each other. I think I'm hanging up the mic now. Ibukun and Abdullah, are you guys ready for the breakdown? Can you hear me?
Hello? Audible. I can hear you.
Okay, good. So are you?
Well,
are you?
We would need the graphics.
But yeah, is the graphic not on the screen?
It's not. Let me remove this.
Okay, let me put it on the screen.
Yeah, put it on the screen.
I didn't know the graphic was not on the screen. Hold on.
Oh, Mr. Abdullahi, can you see it from your own end?
Can you guys see? So
okay,
this
yeah,
this is the entire thing. I'll be expanding and minimizing it. Easy for you to explain clearer. So she highlighted the 5 points: the mechanism of political interference, and then colonial education, economy of obedience, family, and then, so that's it. Let me make it big and you guys can start. Who's going first?
Yeah. Mr. Abdullahi, will you go first?
His mic is muted.
Your mic is muted. Can you unmute?
Yes.
If Elua, can you be reading for him while he gives his commentary? Yeah. So read, Ifelua.
Okay, sir. The political economy of obedience.
Okay. This one for our Nigerian people, as the market people used to say, when we say economy, economy to us, mostly we are talking about money, the money all of us are talking about. But here we talk about the political economy of obedience. That's the profit, the money that you are making, that's the gain that you are making for as a result of what? Always yes sir, accepting everything. That's everything that comes, you accept it. You accept everything as people. So that's what we are going to discuss now. As a people, what has what this thing cost to us? What has this cost us for all the long period of time that we have been accepting always everything that is coming to us? Budget we collect, original one we collect, everything we accept. So can we move a little bit so that we'll start with the items?
All right, sir.
Then now,
Five mechanism of
The five mechanisms of political compliance.
Political
political
compliance.
compliance.
Yes.
Yes. So when we say five mechanisms for political acceptability, that's always accepting. There are five things. There are things that are five, one, two, three, four, five. That are what? That always make us what? That make us we accept this thing politically. In this one, not the economy, but politically. That's from how we do our leadership. How leadership help us. These five things are the things that what help us always accept things the way they are, because the things have already make us look like zombies, as the article was. Because zombies, they don't have head, they don't think. Everything that comes, they always accept it. Just like everybody in the market, like trash. Anything you come, you dump. Anything you come, you dump. Because all the things they no get will not get sense at all. So number one,
Yeah, there's some echo coming from somewhere. Can somebody turn off their mic?
Colonial education.
okay, colonial
There's some
education.
noise coming from the background. I don't know whose mic is that. Can they turn it off so the audience can hear us clearly?
Yes, it's a first mic. Maybe if I would have to hold
If
on.
I would be,
Yes,
yeah, if I
I will
hold
keep
on, we'll
reading
do
it.
the reading.
I'll be
Yeah,
reading
we'll
it
do
and
the reading.
explaining it. Okay.
Okay.
So it is
Okay,
even faster
number
that
one,
way. Yeah.
yes, colonial education. Colonial education, we are talking about what the education system we have in our country, Nigeria, is designed not by us, it's not our own. They bring it from where? From outside country, where we say what overseas. It's not our own design, not be something where we produce by ourselves. It's brought to us. So and they make it in a way that it will make us like zombies, that we can everything they tell us we accept, we cannot ask questions. Like in a class, when a teacher explains something, you say, how does this thing happen? You say that's how it is, accept it like that. You cannot question, just like the way everything you say, okay, this is government policy, you say okay. And in the classroom they will always teach you that the government is the one that has the supreme power. Then the next one is authority respected, not questioned. Even leaders, they will tell you in class you cannot question your teacher. You always accept. Likewise, in the society, everybody that is at the top of their affairs, that is on top, or at the top, you always answer yes, sir. But anything he do, you cannot question him. You cannot say, sir, why do you do this thing now? No, you always say, okay, okay, that okay. Then on traditions, a source of shame. Then our own tradition, our own local way, things that is our own, we make it to be what? To be shameful. That we don't like it. Always things that are coming from outside are the best, are the modern, and are the acceptable. All the things that we have our own, my own, you don't change to something that is shameful. Then the next one is economy of obedience. That's now we finish with political obedience. Now is economic obedience. Now the first one is compliance linked to material survival. So now our the way the reason why we dey accept all these things is because of what? To get what to eat. Because everybody wan get something wey go chop, because everything anytime they will say belle first. So because we wan put something for belle, na that thing make us always we dey always answer yes, 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 because we only accept that that's the way things should be done. Because if you question, that way wey we dey get chop, we no go get am again. Then rational choice for most times we don't have rational thinking for anything. Anything that come, we don't think. Rational here means you think before you do things, but we don't think. Anything they will allow them to think for us. Then the next thing is access to resource condition on loyalty. because it's only person that is loyal to the system, that's person that is accepted, always accept that, okay, yes, he always answer the oga at the top. He's the only person that will what get what to eat. So all of us believe that, okay, for me not to always get what I will eat, let me also accept that person that is at the top. Then family as a site of control. Then at the family level, in our own family, at our own home, in your domot, that person is what is, they always tell you that individual risk calculation include family. Your family will always tell you that, no go fight this person, oh, he's a very strong person, he's the minister, he's the governor, he's the councillor, he's the chairman. If you fight am, talk now, if they on your own, no be our own. So that fear they put in you, you too, you become scared, you become, you dey fear say make this person no go do something wey at the end of the day you go lose your family and you go lose your life. Then activism bring devastating exposure to family. So your family will tell you, no bring problem come to us, so this thing wey you dey do, our hand no dey. If you carry am, na you go bear everything, anything na your head e go follow. So all those things dey make people say, to me I no go engage in all this call for action, all this activism, this thing wey I go call say no 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 to people wey dey do bad thing as leaders, you no go say no because your family say they know their hand no dey. So that makes you to fear. Then threat to one's is visible to all. So one thing wey happen to one person before, say, you know, see how they do so 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 person, you know, see how they do for so 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 person, so you too no go there, oh, this thing wey you dey do, you know how you go land you. So then the next one is religion. So now our after your family, we talk about the political, we talk about the economy, we talk about the family. Now the religion, the worship, the prayer and worship, what would they do? Them too, that institution itself, it dey also help do things. The first one is theology of earthly resignation. That theology that always makes people that, okay, we within the society, everything you have to do, you have to what? Leave it to God. Leave things to God. Leave things to God. Those things, and tell you that God is the one who give power. So, and those people that God, are you challenging what God has done? So those things they always. Then the next one is discourage political engagement. They will say, those things are evil. Governing or politics is evil. Don't go there, or don't go near those things. It's evil. You cannot change it because it's evil. All those things are things that discourage people through religious institution. Then entanglement with state power. So the relationship between those people that hold that religious institution, also their relationship, them going there, going, coming out, receiving some gifts from them, always visiting them, is also something that is making us to, they always make us not to talk. Then the fifth one now is the media. That's the radio, the TV, the newspaper, where some of us they feel listen to. The regard, depending on the one where you feel reach, that one where you feel it is also something that is also making us to be zombies. So select of visible and invisible information. Before they tell you anything, they have to see, they have to filter it. They will filter it the way you receive your akamu. They will make sure, okay, this one we will give you, no go cause kasala for us. So, and we have to make people behave like the way they want us to make them behave. They cannot say, what this government is doing is not good, or look at it this way. No, they'll always tell you what the people at the top want you to hear and what the people outside the country, because as they talk in the English, in the grammar English, they say the medias are agent of imperialism. So this one now, they help you only to behave like the way the people at the top want you to behave. Then the next one is framing social problem as natural, making everything to look like this is how it is. I na so e dey, na so e dey everywhere. No be only us we get, na so e been dey since our grandfather. Na so my papa see am, na so him papa too see am. So this thing e dey always happen. More just accept am. All this thing na im dey make us, they make people, all this media, they make the radio, the TV, the newspaper, the social media, they go, everybody they talk about it. This is natural. Now this terrorism, now something where they happen long ago. and then opposition voice treated as marginal. So anybody will get other opinion apart from what the government or the people at the top want, they will say, ah, this one no be something important. And I just people, now just small people, small number. Now then get all this kind of view. Now then they understand things from this and they know plenty. And you know now where people always deal with the people where they plenty. So now so all this article now so this article take talk break this thing into five. The first one, the political, that's the one that we talk, the political, the economy, the family, the religious, and the media. Now we are going into the next one. We talk about the media. So beyond dictatorship, okay, a little bit more so that I then broader authoritarianism. So we are talking now about the big control, the one where the bigger ones where they control the the organs at the top. Beyond dictatorship, then we have okay, placebo election marks systemic issues. So all these placebo where we get as election things where election what we dey do as time to time. After 4 years we go again, we line up all of us to vote for the person wey we want. All these things dey make it to look like okay we are doing it, but at the end of the day they choose the person wey they want choose based on the person wey go do wetin they want. Then impunity that means the law no be for everybody, no be for na only what for the common people. The oga wey dey at the top, the law no dey on top im head o. Then patronage, then they dey always look for something wey they want. They no want, they only ask you to okay always respect the country o, do this thing for the country, but them the ogas at the top they are doing different. Then we have repression remain intact. So people cannot stand up. You cannot say no. Everything must dey, you must always dey as they want you to be. You cannot say, okay, I will stand up and talk no on top this matter. No, you always remain, you dey the way they want you to be. Then the next one is more dangerous authoritarianism. So the one wey dey fear people most, that's the most dangerous one now, wey dey make control on top everything now, the oga kwata on top. Say citizens deceive into believing in democracy. So all of us now, we the common people as the country people, they make us believe say talk democracy, this democracy wey we dey do na the best form of government wey we go do. If no be this one we dey do, we no dey do anything. And then the ogas at the top, the oga kwata, all of them they are what, the oga kwata they what, they govern by plutocrats, plutocrats, they are plutocrats, sorry. They are what, they are people that carry our money, they jabber with it, not elected officials. Because when we say people wey we elect to serve us, they do what, they always work for us. But these ones, they carry our money, they carry am to the oyibo land, and they put their money there, them and their family. Mistake performance of transition for substance. We always think okay things, instead of maybe more dey ask people okay the hospital wey we no get dey do am, but no, this money wey dey give us, the small change wey dey give us, na im we dey say ah, this person dey give us money now, and this person at least im dey share 10,000 naira, like just the trader money wey dey give before, and all the small change wey dey give people. People dey say ah, I this person dey perform o, this person dey do well o, because of the small thing wey we dey get, because we always consider belle first, instead of saying that ah, how I go take dey get thing wey I go dey put for belle, but you dey always consider wetin dey give you as to put inside your belle. Na wetin you dey always consider. Then I think we can move a little bit up a little. Okay, that Now, international mechanism nurturing compliance. So now the things wey from outside country wey dey help us to what grow with this kind of what always answer, always yes, 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 that help all this thing to grow in us. The IMF, that IMF, that international organization wey dey hear say they dey borrow money to countries, and the World Bank, that bank wey we dey hear say na im the whole world the money dey there, na dem dey lend money to people. Then conditionalities, reduce public expenditures and privatization. Okay, they always bring conditions. That's they will tell you, okay, rules. Before I will give you money, you have to do this. Then they will always tell you, okay, stop spending money on top hospitals, stop spending money on top education, and then what? All your public asset, the thing where you get, you have to sell it to people where get market, because they always tell you that public government are not good managers of resource of public infrastructure. Always give what? Give the private, the people where they market. The marketers are always, because they will tell you say the person wey need profit go always make things better for people to buy. So the government cannot make it better. Always sell your things and always don't invest money in it. Just like the way we comot subsidy, the way we sell our NEPA, the way we sell, they always advise you on things like this. Then home consequence, removal of subsidy and school fees. So they will always tell you, talk, you remove subsidy, just like the way I mentioned before. Talk, they say, come on your subsidy. Oh. In education, school fees, introduce school fees, because government cannot pay school fees for everybody. Now, before, no tuition fee. They will say tuition is free, but now they will say, okay, we'll introduce something so that people will what? Start paying, because government cannot do everything. There is no money to do everything. Then political consequences, then transform logic of loyalty. They make people to what? They make all of us for the country to be what? Loyal, in a way that all of us have to surrender to that person at the top. We no go question anything wey that person dey do. We go dey always fear say make that person no go deal with us. Then arm straight, that's the weapon, the gun wey they use carry do everything. They always help people wey, if you are looking for gun to go fight your brother, so they always do it. Then sustain conceive infrastructure of authoritarian state. They help in one way. Those people from international world, oh, international community, oh, those people where they produce weapon. We know our own here, na local gun wey hunters they carry. We will know they produce all the ones where terrorists they carry. So they always what? Help people wey want keep authoritarian state. Now they will sell things to government, even though they know say in one way or the other the government will kill its citizen. If now you people stand up say, talk one, this government will no want am again, no, before you know, they will supply them with all the things where they need, and they will begin fight una. So Western defense industrial supply African military. That's from outside country, more especially the West, where they call the West. Now there they always supply military supplies. That's the weapon, the bomb, all the things where they need, make them fight for Africa. Now them they supply. If you no comply with them, they no go supply you. Since you cannot waiting, you no get, you will always dey obedient to the person where they supply you. They always do that one. So you have to answer to them. They will always tell you, before we will sell this thing to you, you must do this, you must do that, and you go answer, because you no get. And if you no buy, you know say your country no go dey, you know fit govern the country. You too, you will lose the power where you get. So arms relationship, despite human right concern, they will always sell to people, even if they know say at the end of the day, they kill people, they abuse people, they insult people, the right of people, they always they violated, but they go still sell for them. But they always tell you human right, human right. Then the next one is digital surveillance. That's the all this technology where they now, where they use what? Control and look everything where they happen for everywhere. Monitor dissident communication. They always anything when you they talk, they always look through it. Okay, Wetin this person dey talk, wetin that person dey talk, anything wey dey talk, they dey always discuss about am. Then participation in human right violation. They always also put their hand inside wetin they dey call human right violation. That's all the right wey you dey get, they dey help in what? Denying you, not allowing you to have access to it. Then cumulative effect. That's how e gather take affect us. How e take gather affect all the people now. So now the first one is narrowed political imagination. People dey always think that if no be this person who vote, we no go get am o, because we always get what? We no get option. Say but no any other road apart from this one now. Na this person get the money, na this person get the power, na him na nothing you fit do. So we always have that small chickeny thinking or imagination. We no dey imagine big, we dey always do things small small. Then the next one, alternative difficult to conceive. We dey always say this one is difficult for this person to make am true o. Or if we try this thing now, like we dey talk about, say okay, let's unite ourselves, let's change the country. Say change is impossible, e no go work o. This thing for years, this is how it is. It's very difficult, so we cannot accept it. They all make us to behave this way. Then the next one, political ecosystem ensures invisibility of alternatives. So the politics itself, the political system, this democracy and the system of governance wey we dey practice, dey always make us see say all the thing wey we dey do, there is no way out. So this is what we have. Maybe brother Ibokun will share more light if we still have time, or this is my own submission. Thank
Yeah,
you.
before Ibukun goes, I think this lady, Farida Bemba Noberema, she did a very, very, very good job in analyzing our situation and how we got here, and why we cannot conceive an alternative as a people. We always act like little children, as if what is happening to us is impossible to change. Let me just tell you a little bit about the lady, Farida Bemba Noberema, was born in 1990. She's a Togolese human rights activist and a writer who has fought for democracy in Togo since she was a teenager. When she was 20, she founded the File Must Go movement, calling for civil resistance in the interest of democracy. She published in 2014 her book, Essays of La Passion de Oppression, The Pressure of Oppression, encourage resistance from those who are oppressed. In 2017, Noberema was recognized as an Advocate of the Year by the African Youth Award. She's well learned. This thing she brought out, it's a moment of clarity for Africans to know why they are the way they are, why the rest of the world is moving forward and they cannot move forward because of this post-colonial, pre-colonial and post-colonial effect that is upon them. And this lady has really done a good job, and I think we should talk about it. If we want to debate anything, we should debate, do we have the right form of education? You see, we should debate all the issues she raised. Is our economy obedience affecting our loyalty to changing our political position? Is our family controlling our way we react? Is religion a factor in whether we can change our condition or not? And as the media helped us, these are questions we in the movement may want to put to you, the audience, and have your say in it, have your point of opinion that Farida has presented to us. Let me show you a picture and who this lady is, and she did a great job in this intense and detailed analysis. And we should talk about these things, how we are, where we are, and how we can combat this, how we can change this. That's why we are about changing narratives, educating our people, finding opinions that matters, and echoing it back to the people, not opinions of the oppressors. Tinubu says Akpabio did this. Wike is looking at somebody's pants. Stupid stuff African educated people are discussing, considering the immense trouble and problem their continent and country is. Stupid stuff. Continue regurgitating the opinions of the oppressors. How is that going to help you? How is that going to help your condition? You know, your house is on fire and you're worried about what your neighbor is wearing. How is that going to help you? But when we go deep like this and talk about how we got to where we are, became zombies, maybe we can start to wake up the dead. That's our mission. This radio movement is not for those that are gone, lost. We're here to wake those that have lost faith in the possibility of change. Those who don't believe we can conceive an alternative. Those who want to listen, not those that are pretending to be sleeping. Definitely not for the insane. We are not going to waste our time with the insane. So if you have comments, addition, subtraction, let us know. I'm going to hand over the mic now to Ibukun to also comment before we go on.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so very much for that great analysis. And we indeed respect the brilliance of this, our African sister, Farida. And we indeed want to know more, want to get to know more of our articles. What should they do? Because that article, they always open up people high where and the African people, our situation kind of they similar from country to country. Our matter for Nigeria, it be like say you want the same for our matter. People where they for Cameroon, people where they for Congo, people where they many other parts of the world. So our issues are very, very similar. So waiting she don't talk, for that article of making of the zombies, really. She itemized colonial education. I just want to summarize everything for us. So people will say they know understand all of the big but where they talk sense. She talk about colonial education and how that in done, affect us where we it don't affect our mind. Maybe say we dey obedient to oppressive system. We all know say things no day as it's supposed day. Our institutions no work as it's supposed work. Police we supposed protect us. Now them come they carry condo, they knock us for head. They break our window if we get car. Now them they extort money from us. So all of these things. Now them they protect the politician, because if you observe very well, if you don't say the kind police protection where your local politicians they get now special. Compare if you get your councillor, make you get about 30 police where they watch only him and the whole village. No single police they watch the village, they patrol the village self. All right. So all of these things now be the cocoa where they say it help, and of course the curriculum, the timetable for school, it be designed to maintain this colonial mentality. And of course, she also talk about the economy of obedience, which is indeed how money they enter your pocket. And we most of us we they very, very busy. They find money up and down, and as they find money reach, the money where they enter, as they enter, now in the thing they go. And of course, we are even so busy with how to get this little money, such that we don't even care about what thing they happen to us. We just notice something wrong. And of course, I will get to the other reasons we say make all of these things, make us be like so we be zombie. We say make them easy for our politicians to the directors left, right, and center. Maybe say it make us feel powerless. Say, well, nothing will feel do them. They get power pass us. They get influence pass us. They get money pass us. So they have made the economy such that, we are vulnerable. Many people, they call them, say they impoverish us. Now them make us poor. The poverty where we get, no be natural poverty. Now poverty will be say the design for us to continue that rat race, to define money up and down, money will not even do you. So you don't go fit think about how you fit pay attention to what they do you and how you go feel rescue yourself from the situation. So this is a very big issue where Farida talk, and they see in picture for screen. All right, he talk about family as a site of control. Where we say if you want say we no go agree, if say now you be the person who you want tell your people say make we fight this battle now. Yeah, this shitting it too much for us now. Our government they shit us now. Now your family will come and tell you say no do that thing no. We want make they go put you for corridor. When they go carry you go put for sale now. Waiting go happen. You want make we come they use money they won't go bail you again. So your family go to discourage you. Your friends self go to discourage you. All right. I don't lose count of how many messages you and me I don't get. All right. As a social critic and as a revolutionary and activist, my mama don't follow me talk tire say hey, you define trouble of the system. The trouble is going to come for you. And one of the most choicest child, she in fact lost her child, our eldest brother, not quite long. And she was scared to the bone. As she they see me say me, they do evangelism, they abuse Tinubu, they talk to they call out Tinubu as it take be. So then they use our family to scare us, and all of these things they're familiar, to everybody. We be saying the same thing. People like many brilliant minds like Fela Kuti. If I don't hear that song, we Fela Kuti talk, where she in Neman Pansa, we be say Fela talk say in French call him say you self no talk truth again. You self no, they abuse government again. And Fela talk say, you see, they no one make I talk truth. All right, and Okonto say, okay, instead make I go stop, then go pansa. So that is the family influence right there. All right, and you see what thing they do for Fela mama, they throw that mama from window, they throw him come ground by unknown soldier. The system say now unknown soldier do that thing. So all of these things, our people know all of these stories, and he had to the fear where they their mind. Not to even mention religion, the role where religion play in this matter to make us zombies, to make us raise our hands up in absolute surrender. All right, you go to hear terminologies where your pastor they use, not be by chance. So they go they call you sheep, say you be sheep. Say you are the sheep and them they are the shepherd. All of these terminologies, do not take it for granted because it is done, intentionally to infantilize you. That one na big oyinbo, to make you feel like Pekin, so that as adult where you be, all right, even pastor will not even reach your age where we say if you give birth to them, go they command you say, Baba, do like this. No, waiting they find for government matter. Now to the pray, make God send you EPA now. You have to remain, sober and to the expect to the kingdom of God. Now, kingdom of God, now be your reward. Forget about everything waiting for this world. All of these things waiting for this world now vain and vanity upon vanity. Now, do when they take the encourage poverty, be that. So our people say don't accept their fate. Say they are here to suffer. So, and that thing, they give government free hand to do whatever it is they like. So this is a very big issue where would they deal with for Obodo Africa and of course Nigeria as a case study. So the last one we should talk about now media, and of course we know our state media, how these our mainstream media they align with politicians. You go to see how they go to use style. They go to use style. They back Nigerian politicians, and they go to make analysis to make excuses for a failed government. So all of these things, this our Ogbonge sister, this our Ogbonge Africa sister, Mrs. Farida, we don't talk for that article, and of course that article makes sense well. So and now for
You see,
movement radio, you go
you
hear
see,
how we go
like,
take break them down.
bring out. It's articles like that that our media should focus on. It's always in
Yes.
relevancies they want to focus on. They want to focus on things that are not going to help the people help themselves. They just want to keep pushing government agenda. They wouldn't talk about topics like this that Miss Farida has presented out there that analyzes the African situation on why we stayed the same way we are. But even when they get a chance to interview Farida, they don't want to bring up important issues like this. They want to bring up garbage and rubbish, something that continue to keep the authoritarians in office. It's all due to the type of education they received. If they have received the correct form of education, they won't be doing that. Because these are African children saying it like a true African, a true Pan-Africanist, pushing the African agenda that, look, we are in trouble. This is what we should be talking about, not garbage. He talks about the media, talks about international influence, and talks about our own influence. That's why we have mumus wearing coats. That's what Fela in his song called those with Kolo mentality. They will wear wig, they will wear tie coats, and that's why I said he's not a gentle, he's an African man original, because there's a lot of things we don't know on why our condition is the way it is. And when people bring them out, it's our responsibility to echo it so that more people will hear it. More people would understand why we are where we are and how we have to get out of it. Because she did talk about how we are going to get out of it. He said we have to address these issues or else we're going to be in perpetual slavery. And who wants to be in slavery? Who wants to hand over slavery to their children? Who wants to hand over poverty to their children? If something made us like this, we have to find a way to change it. It's our responsibility to educate our fellow Africans and let them know this is where we are. This is what we need to do about it. This cumulative effect over decades has produced a population whose political imagination has been narrowed to the point where alternatives are genuinely difficult to conceive. Not because the alternative do not exist, but because the political ecosystem has ensured that they remain invincible. That's why an educated person with a PhD will tell you that you can't remove Tinubu. And the fool will tell you because they've been miseducated, the miseducation of the black man. This authoritarian manual has to be dismantled. And it has to start today. It has to start with information and education and reorientation. You understand? That's what, if people have any comment on this, they should let us know before we move on to something else.
Our Twitter, we still wait for people to join us. Not only Liberation Chat and Alaba Ferreira did here. And I don't share the link to all our group, pata. But it really hard to have a little bit to watch.
Is this thing recorded? They can watch it later after the recording.
Yes, absolutely. It is recorded. Yes, it's recorded. Well, to just add to what you talk about slavery, modern slavery, it's a very serious. I will not be specific, but any ideology where we say you get or you are a member of that ideology, where we say they call yourself slave, where we say they call yourself servant, that is all of the indication where you need to verify, say that ideology, na colonial ideology. That is all I can say about. I will not be specific, but I'm just telling you, any ideology where you get, maybe you be member or you are entrenched in that ideology. And what they preach is that you should call yourself a servant, you should call yourself a slave. That is enough clue that you need. And of course, these things are well orchestrated. Now, I say they design them to make us, get the kind mentality we go keep us perpetually subservient, to become slaves of the system. So yeah, I think we don't do justice to this particular article by our sister Farida. Any other article we will go do, we don't spend 1 hour 44 minutes now. So I think we can still do one more article, right? We don't do justice to this zombie topic where our sister exposed us to today.
Bonita donde como anibeo. Omo alaja, arikeke ton ema baja. Girl, I'm hoping that you gone over. Cause anybody need le wache banana. Let me go see the embassy bar. I'm alright, if you kill it no go car. I don't mind, if you kill it no go car. I don't mind, let me go see the embassy bar. I'm alright, if you kill it no go car. I don't mind, if you kill it no go car. I don't mind. Big girl energy, dark skin melanin, fat back jiggling, tension killing me rising. Come giving me rally. Rock your body to this beat, oh mogi. Love your body, just a bit me admit. Explore your work, I meet it in night. Slow motion, oh yeah, Betty, why baby come over? I've never seen a girl like Arike, Bonita donde como anibeo. Omo alaja, arikeke ton ema baja. Girl, I'm hoping that you gone over. Cause anybody need le wache banana. Let me go see the embassy bar. I'm alright, if you kill it no go car. I don't mind, if you kill it no go car. I don't mind, let me go see the embassy bar. I'm alright, if you kill it no go car. I don't mind, if you kill it no go car. I don't mind. Big girl energy, dark skin melanin, fat back jiggling, tension killing me rising. Come giving me rally. Rock your body to this beat, oh mogi. Love your body, just a bit me admit. Explore your work, I meet it in night. Slow motion, oh yeah, Betty, why baby come over? I've never seen a girl like Arike, Bonita donde como anibeo. Omo alaja, arikeke ton ema baja. Girl, I'm hoping that you gone over. Cause anybody
Yeah, your mic.
Yeah. I know. Um, okay, that's the article. Share this stuff. Can you all see that?
Yes,
IMF
yes.
versus Nigeria, the people's hardship, the real cost of conformity. Okay. So let me see if we're reading the whole thing. Here it's just 2 pages, so we could read it. Who wants to read though? And then we'll do the summary. Or should we just break down this? Let me see the summarized version.
Yeah, because commentary go there for that summarized version too. So
You said what?
I say even if we do the summarized version, commentary go there, so we go still long way. But
Okay.
if we can read the article too, why not?
Okay, so we should read first, right?
Yeah, we can
What,
just
what, what
quickly
should
read.
we do? Read or go straight to the summarized version? You tell me.
Let's quickly read it. Let's quickly read it.
Okay. Who's reading? Let me share.
Yeah, I can read it, no problem.
Is it clear?
Yeah,
Is
yes,
it
it
clear
is
now?
clear. Yes, it's clear. It's clear.
Okay,
So can I
go ahead.
proceed? Okay.
Eh? Can you
Can I
what?
proceed? Can I
Yeah,
proceed?
start.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. IMF versus Nigeria, the people's hardship, the real cost of conformity by Lanre Abuma Ayoride. The nations that successfully transformed from poverty to massive wealth did not do so by following the Washington consensus, the free market, deregulation, and austerity policies pushed by the IMF, World Bank, London, and Washington. Instead, they practiced state directed capitalism or heterodox economics, meaning they protected their local industries, subsidized their own growth, controlled their currencies, and actively defied Western economic dictates until they were strong enough to compete globally. Here are the prime examples of countries that aggressively grow their economies by focusing on internal development rather than seeking validation from Western financial capitals. Number one, China, the ultimate outlier. Since Deng Xiaoping's reforms in 1978, China has pulled over 800 million people out of poverty and become the worst manufacturing powerhouse. How they defied the dictates. The IMF constantly pressures developing nations to float their currencies and open their borders to foreign capital. China completely ignored this. They heavily manage the value of the yuan to keep their exports cheap. They maintain strict capital controls, meaning foreign money couldn't just flow in and out overnight to crash their economy. The result? They built internal infrastructure, forced foreign companies to transfer technology to local Chinese firms if they wanted to do business there, and subsidized their own manufacturing. They never sought an award from London. They simply took over the global supply chain. Number two is Malaysia, the 1997 defiance. Malaysia provides one of the best historical examples of telling the IMF no. During the 1997 Asian financial crisis, foreign investors panicked and pulled their money out of Asia, crashing local currency. How they defied the dictates. The IMF offered bailouts to Thailand, Indonesia, and South Korea on the condition of massive austerity, high instant interest rates, and cutting government spending, the exact same medicine given to Nigeria. The result in those countries were devastating recessions and riots. Malaysian Prime Minister Mahathir Mohamad explicitly rejected the IMF. Instead of raising interest rates, he lowered them. Instead of floating the currency, he pegged the ringgit to the US dollar. and slapped strict capital control on foreign investors so they couldn't take their money out of the country. The result? Western economists and London bankers predicted Malaysia would collapse. Instead, Malaysia recovered faster with far less unemployment and poverty than the countries that took the IMF bitter pill in quote. Number three is Vietnam, the Doi Moi model. Following a devastating war with the US, Vietnam was heavily sanctioned and isolated. In 1986, they launched the Doi Moi renovation bracket policy. How they defied dictates like China, Vietnam transitioned to a market economy, but strictly on its own terms, a socialist-oriented market economy. They did not privatize everything overnight as Western Bank advised. The state kept a tight grip on strategic industries like energy, telecommunication, and banking. They focused heavily on agricultural self-sufficiency first, then pivoted to export-led manufacturing. The result? Vietnam has had one of the fastest growing GDPs in the world over the last 30 years, becoming a global hub for electronics and textile manufacturing, all while maintaining strict domestic sovereignty over their economic planning. Number four is South Korea. Note, while these countries are close political, geopolitical, and military allies of the US, the actual economic blueprints in the late 21st century 20th century violently violated Western free market rules. How they divide dictates. If a developing country today tried to do what South Korea did in the 70s and 80s, the World Bank would sanction them. South Korea did not leave its economy to market forces. The government issued heavy-handed protectionism. They banned the import of foreign manufactured goods to force citizens to buy local. The government controlled the banks and directed cheap, low-interest credit only to local businesses that produce goods for exports, like Hyundai and Samsung. The result? They artificially nurtured their local industries until they were strong enough to compete globally. Only after they became rich did they open their markets to foreign competition. Number five, Botswana, the African exception. While much of Africa was subjected to IMF structural adjustment programs, SAP, in the 1980s and 1990s, Botswana took a different path regarding its natural resources. How they defied the dictates. When diamonds were discovered, Western models typically pushed for full privatization and foreign corporate control. Botswana insisted a 50-50 joint venture with the Bears, forming the Botswana. They maintained strict domestic control over their revenues, running budget surpluses, and investing heavily in domestic infrastructure, health, and education rather than relying on foreign debt. The result? Botswana went from being one of the poorest countries of the world at independence to a middle-income nation, maintaining steady organic growth without falling into the debt trap cycles that require IMF bailouts. The core takeaway: aggressive internal production and localized industrialization. None of these countries cared about having their central bank governors win awards in London. They recognized that the Western financial system is designed to keep developing nations as exporters of cheap raw materials and importers of expensive finished goods. To break that cycle, they used heavy government intervention, protected their local currencies, restricted predatory foreign capital, and focused relentlessly on building things at home. I think that's all.
Yeah, I don't think the English version is long. Should be short.
Yeah.
Okay. Do we do that or do some in between ad first? You want to do that right away? Get that done with?
The pigeon breakdown of these graphics, right?
Yeah, we could do it fast. Do we
Yeah,
need it?
I went. Yeah, we can quickly run through it fast as I take it
Fast,
down and
fast.
fast.
Okay. We don't have to be in detail since it's much of economic talk.
Yeah, then I economic talk with this one, right?
Let me see. Let me see. Mostly economic talk. I don't think we
Yeah.
should do the pidgin version. Do we? Should we?
Well, it's no need. It's no need. We can move on to the next article. But I think that article
Yeah.
is self-explanatory.
It's
And they say,
self-explanatory. Yeah.
make I break them down for our people. Maybe they don't understand big goals. So, now
Oh,
just
they say you should break it down.
if I just say make I do them, just in case if they need them, I can just do them in just 1 minute. Say this article talk about the effect of IMF and their policies on many countries. How many countries like Nigeria, fall into their trap, and other countries escape their trap. And after escaping that trap, it was a very now decision way they make. We say not easy for them to make, but they
I
took
think the
that
core
decision.
takeaway does it. They say that core takeaway.
Yes, that cut away aggressive internal production. Yes, now instead of saying maybe they import something or maybe they do something which will weaken their currency, they decide to build aggressively in terms of production, localized industrialization. They build industry for inside their country. Western system keeps nation poor. Yes, history don't show say Western countries they get agenda to keep other countries poor. All right, and of course we have to break the cycle. All right, the government supposed intervene, right, to protect the currency, restrict foreign capital. This money when they enter the country and leave the country. And if I don't hear everything that they call capital flight, all right, that is the money where they enter plane, come out for country. Right, they carry and enter the country, and if they want, they can promote am immediately. Other countries no gree that kind of thing happen to them. But Nigeria, now so we allow am. Na the thing wey land us for trouble. One of the things wey land us for trouble economically na be that thing. So we have to focus on building at home. All right, any government wey no wan build, na this kind wahala wey we dey face na im go dey happen. So now my analysis about the IMF and many countries we fall into their trap and countries we escape their trap. Mind that.
Can be that. Okay. Let's go back to we are almost done. I think we only have one left. Did we do the gate but no fence? Have we done that? Nigeria is a gate with no fence. It looks like we've done that before.
I don't think we never do that one before.
Okay, that's the last one for today. But first, let me see if there are some words of wisdom on our page line to share with people. Let's start with this one. By what's this lady called? Maya Angelou. Can you see it?
Yes, it clear. It clear well. Now better mama be this now. African mama na be this.
Maya Angelou. She's a poet and a civil
Wow.
rights activist in the US. My mother said I must always be intolerant of ignorance, but understanding of illiteracy. That some people unable to go to school were more educated and more intelligent than college professors. Can see example of that in Nigeria a lot, can't we?
Mm. The
I
example,
like this.
Yakawe.
I like this one. We said this one yesterday. Silence about our friends.
Mm.
Uh, and we said that of Mandela on to yesterday. I don't think we have any new ones on the message. And we saw how I don't know how the Burkina guy said his country is a secular state, even though they are almost 90% Islamic state.
That thing, many people react to that thing. They clap for that, our
Yeah,
Obinge,
I
Israeli.
think that that's a solid, smart decision.
It's a
Yeah,
way
we
to
want to
go.
share. You want to share this that the children are still abducted in Borno. They're still in the camp, and we urge that they be rescued on time. So let me
It's
see if we
not,
have any
not
other
very,
such.
not very
Eh?
disappointing. Not very disappointing something with this thing.
Yeah.
Our
It says,
it's very
Yes,
very
after
clear.
a
Say it's
very
not
long
getting very
period of
attention.
political.
Very very.
what did you say, Abdullah? I didn't hear what Abdullah said.
I said it's very disheartening. Well,
Oh,
how
it's
they
terrible. It's terrible.
just it's
The children
actually
are still there.
serious.
That's
Yes, and
terrible,
then
man. You
at the
know,
end of
let
the
me.
day, they will say they will integrate them back to their family.
Yeah, this is awful. Let's share that one more time because this is important, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
very
bring
important.
them, bring them back to their family. God's sake, Jesus, these are children. God, yeah. Let's share that one, and then let's go for another one, short one. Let me see. I think there's another one.
People know they talk about the emotional stress where they accompany this
They do.
kind
The question is, the question you're
because
talking
these
emotional stress.
children
The question
they
is,
are
what is the life
affected.
of a Nigerian? What is the price as people did we put on the life of? Because all these things that is happening to all these people, they are people too. They are human
Yes, sir.
beings too.
They're human beings too.
And we just we have become so desensitized. Only God can save us, man.
Nigerian elites
We
are
don't
so
value human life in Nigeria.
We don't value human life. That's sad. That's the general population doesn't know what is happening and he doesn't even know it that he doesn't know.
hmm.
You know, that culture of normalizing things is what is affecting us.
It is. It is. Creating an alternative to
Everything,
trauma.
say this is normal. Normal. This is normal. Not
We have
normal.
normalized you see that in Bukun, that's why I always tell you. It is true everybody has an opinion, but I'm telling you, it is not true. Some opinion are meant for your heart alone. Should not even come out of your body. It is so it's so sinful or bad that it shouldn't even come out of your body. Then there are some opinions should only stay in your room alone, in your bedroom alone, or in your toilet alone. Should not even come outside your house. Then some opinion you can shout on the streets, but some opinion should not be mainstream, and that is the problem with Nigeria, where any opinion in people like Reno Omokri, Buwala, you're making their opinion mainstream. That is the problem with that country. When you cannot separate madness from normalcy, we get a problem there. We get a problem.
Because they are the agents that are making the things to look normal. Because they will keep referring that it happens this in this place, they are happening in this place. So that makes people to believe as if it is normal, since it's happening elsewhere and it happens before.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. As long as poverty, injustice, and
So
gross inequality persist in our world, none of us can truly rest. So let's do the last article. And I wanted to share one other thing from Farida Bemba Noberema, which she talked about something about our culture that is dying. Let me see if I can find that while that's on the screen. And then after that, we'll do the last article, which is you said we've not done the gates. Nigeria is a gate, but no fence. Are you sure? Yeah, if you guys said we've not done it, then we'll do it today. And then we'll conclude today. Let me pick that our culture that is changing. Just one line. I think that's just a paragraph culture article. It's not long at all. Just that back in the days when we were growing up. And the reason why that caught my interest is because that used to happen to me when I was growing up. Let me see the article. What was the title of it? Hold on. Dying culture. Okay, culture. Something about our culture. Okay, let me see. If I don't see it, I'll just go to the next article. Make it a big man. Let's share this for a moment. Although that's not the one I'm looking for. Oh, see, this is what I wrote when Nigeria was 65. Can you guys see? Share this stuff. Nigeria is the big man, the slave, and the fool is 65. It's a geographical contraption that caused treason, economic self-sabotage, politics. It caused treason and economic self-sabotage and has not found its moment of clarity yet. As time passes, things are getting bad and worse. In its delusion of existence, poor people are crying while its visionless, affluent people are farting in their shithole palace. Demonstration of crazy demons. The truth is that those that reject the truth deserve the shithole country called Nigeria, home of the living dead zombies and their night king, a weapon fashioned against his own people. So the summary of that was kind of easy. That we have a self-destructive nature in our system. We have a political dysfunction. There's social, economic disparity, and we reject the truth. You see that?
Yes.
That's a key point raised in that one. But that was not the one I was looking for. Let me go back to, let's share back to Mandela. I'll go. If I don't see an article, I'll just go straight to the next one. It's a very small, it's just one paragraph that they talk about how our culture is changing from a good culture where we give to something else. Just put on changes. Independence before this. Yeah, I can't seem to see it. I'm just gonna go to the next one that I see. Big man, this thing making the zone political economy. Okay, I've seen it. The one on our culture. Just one paragraph. Okay. Let's just do the summarizer. It's not long. I can read it myself. You know, when we were small, there was one thing we found uniquely beautiful in our culture. When someone offers you something, you also want to give them something back, not to repay them, but to signal to them that the consideration they show is mutual, that you have received it and you return it. My mother used to tell me this every time someone sends us food. We never bring back an empty bowl. That part really affected me. That's why I copied this part. Because when we were small, we used when it's Ileya, when the Muslims are celebrating Ileya and they bring meat to us, whoever brings the meat, my grandmother will make sure they give that person something. And when it's Easter also, when we take Frijon is that island food we cook. When we take it to our Muslim neighbors, you know, me, I always make a lot of money on that day because, you know, the number of Frijon I take to somebody, the more money they will give me. So when she wrote this part, I thought this was so true about our culture. But she's saying that aspect of our culture is gradually disappearing. I have not found this in the West, where gift exchange follow precise calendars and defined circles, where spontaneous generosity is often met with polite distrust, as if it hides an intention. In our country, it has the original language of social connection. If circulated without a particular occasion, without a special reason, because the neighbor has cooked more than necessary, because the field had produced in abundance, or because we simply thought you of you without expecting anything in return. What breaks my heart today is that it's not simply that the culture is fading, there are still people who carry it. I am grateful for that. What breaks my heart is the inversion that has occurred in silence. We have arrived in a world where daring to be generous towards someone opens the door to them taking advantage of you. Where extending a hand to become an invitation to them to cling to you and as the weight of other existence without ever asking if you already carry your own. Where is this perversion that scares me? Not for me, but for the children. Because this beauty with which we grew, this way of habit, this way never bringing back the empty plate, they risk not knowing it in the same way. And we lost it. With it, it's not just a simple habit, it's an entire philosophy of a relationship to the other. I just thought that was an interesting African culture. And she's arguing that that is gradually disappearing. Man, that's sad. That's sad. Last article, and we're done for today, which is the, what was this? The gates. Something about we are a gate, open gate, and no fence. Open gate and no fence. That's by the lady Zainab Suleiman. I'm looking for her. That's it. Okay, let me see if it's long. Oh, it looks long. Oh, do you think we should just do the summary? What do you guys think? Can you all see it? I
Yeah,
think we
maybe
should
we
read
should just,
it.
yeah,
I
we
think we
should
should
use the
read
summary.
it. No, we should
Summary.
read it. It's detailed. It's good. It
Okay.
talks about terrorism too.
Okay.
I think we should read it and then just summarize the summary, just short version.
It is
You
still
can
the
share the
Mandela.
reading between you and Abdullahi.
It's still the Mandela picture that we are seeing on the big screen.
Okay, I'll share it now. Can you see it?
Yes. Yes, I can see it now.
It's detailed. It talks about all the problems with security and everything. It's a good read.
All right.
We
So,
could share it in 2 or 3.
all right. Yeah, this article, it says we are a country with a gate, but no fence. And this article is by Zainab Sulaiman. We are a country with a gate, but no fence, by Zainab Sulaiman. We are a country with a gate, but no fence. That is why the wolves keep walking in. Nigeria, giant of Africa, 200 plus million hearts beaten to the same sun. Oil beneath our soil, music in our veins, brains that build startups in Yaba and hospitals in Houston. Also, that doesn't sleep even when the light goes off, but also a house where the doors are loud, the locks are rusted, and the walls were never finished. We painted the front gate and called it security. We posted guards and called it safety. We prayed and called it policy. And the wolves noticed. Number one, security is not just guns, it's a symposium, it's a symptom. Bandits in Samfara who ride in like weather and live like grieve. Kidnappers in Abuja to Kaduna Road who turned a 2-hour journey into a national prayer point. Farmers and elders in Benue, whose fight over land has become a fight over who gets to, the, to be called human. Unknown gunmen in the east who leave questions with no answers. Terror in the north, east that has lasted long enough to raise a second generation inside IDP camps. We give them different names so we can pretend they are different problems, but they drink from the same cup. Poverty that teaches a 17-year-old boy that a rifle pays better than a diploma and pays faster. Justice that arrives late, if at all. A case file that moves slower than a ransom negotiation. A system where connection is equal to competence and silence is equal to accountability. Where you call fail, where you can fail publicly and be promoted privately. You cannot kill an ideology with bullets. You can only suppress it for a while. You kill it by making life too valuable to waste, by making school more profitable than kidnapping, by making farming safer than banditry, by making the future feel real enough to protect. Right now, for too many, the future feels like a rumor. Number two,
I think let
the
me go
gate
with
is
the second
loud.
one.
Okay, please go ahead.
Okay. Number two, the gate is loud, the fence is missing. We are very good at announcement. We have press conference. We have committees to investigate the committees. We have strategic plan with beautiful PowerPoint and zero follow through. What we don't have is consequence. Okay, a kidnapper is arrested today, paraded on the news tomorrow with cover faces and cover names. A year later, victims are still paying ransom in their minds, still checking the review mirror, still still fleeting at motorcycles. Sorry. Corruption is not just money stolen from a treasury. Sorry. Corruption is not money stolen from a treasury. It is the police vehicle with no fuel when your sister calls at 2 a.m. It is the school with three teachers for 200 pupils. It is the hospital with no drugs. So a mother buys paracetamol at three times the price from roadside vendor. When the state fails to provide, people improvise. And improvisation is not governance. Et- ethnic militias, vigilantes, self-help, community guards with then guns. And once everyone becomes their own army, the country becomes 200 million countries, each compound a republic, each tribe a border, each religion a checkpoint. A nation cannot survive as a collection of a fortress. It survives as a neighborhood. Number three, the most dangerous insecurity is in our minds. The first casualty of war is truth. The second is outrage. We have normalized grief. 10 people killed now screw past us like weather. We tap, we sigh, we move on. We save the tears for people we know. We argue tribe before truth, religion before reasons, party before people. We clap for the politicians who bring project but ask no question about the blood on the road to get there, about contracts that were inflated, about the school that exists only on paper. Empathy has become seasonal. We feel deeply during viral videos, then return to business. When we stop being outraged, we become complicit. Not because we pull the trigger, but because we got used to the sound. And that is how a society dies. Not with a civil war, but with a shrunk. Number 4, what they don't tell you. Insecurity has a price tag. It is not just lives, it is livelihoods. A farmer can't go to his farm in June. So in December, food prices rise in Lagos, Port Harcourt, and Kano. A student can't go to school in the Northwest. So in 10 years, illiteracy rise, and so does recruitment into violence. An investor can't put money in a factory in the East, so jobs disappear. So more boys update their CVs to include tactical experience. A nurse leave for Canada, a doctor leave for UK, for the UK, a teacher leaves for somewhere with a light. Then we wonder why the gun is still only job with urgent hiring. It is a cycle fair, poverty, recruitment, more fair. And cycles don't break by prayers alone. They break by design, by intention, by boring, unglamorous work that no one claps for. Praying teaches one times, fueling patrol van, prosecuting cases, fixing road, collecting data. Number 5, so what breaks it? Not vibes, not hashtags, not if it is God, it is God. Truth, name the problem without hiding behind tribe or party. Call a terrorist, where he speak your language or not. Call a corrupt official corrupt, even if he brought light to your village once. Justice swift, visible, and for everyone, big man or small boy. If the law is afraid of one class of people, then we don't have law. We have suggestions. Victims deserve to see the end of cases, not just beginning on Instagram. Opportunity. Build a country where a young person can eat, learn, and build without knowing someone. Where NYSC is not the only plan, where skills pay and grant don't require a godfather. When people have something to lose, they protect it. Community, we must. Sorry, a little bit down. Okay, sorry. Community, we must see each other. Community, we must see each other as neighbor first, before Hausa, Igbo, Yoruba. Sorry, a little down. Sorry, can't see it. Christian, Muslim. The man selling suya. The man selling suya at your junction is not your enemy. The woman teaching your child is not your opponent. The only side we should be on is the side of life. Memory, never forget that every number on the news was someone's entire world. Someone's mother, someone's plan to get married next year, someone who wakes up and didn't come home. If we forget, we will repeat. Nigeria is not a failed state. Failed state don't produce burner, don't produce flower, flutter waves, and don't produce nurses who run entire wards abroad. But we are a gate, state with no fence. We announce ourselves to the world, but we don't protect ourselves from within. And until we decide to build the fence with jobs, justice, education, and courage, the gate will keep swinging, but both ways, letting hope in, letting wolves in. The question is not who will save us. No Messiah is coming within with a blueprint. The question is, what are we willing to do differently tomorrow that we refused to do yesterday? We will pay our taxes and demand receipt. We will vote and stay to watch. We will teach our children that Nigeria is not a tribe, it is a promise. We will call out the small corruption in our offices so that the big corruption has no ground to stand on. Because a country that buries its children every week and still posts God is good without changing anything, it is a country testing God. And God, like history, answer those who answer themselves first. God, like history, answers those who answer themselves first. Let us build the fence at Dr. Zainab Suleiman Buhari. Thank you. So this is the article by
Yeah,
Dr.
Dr.
Zainab
Zainab
Suleiman
Suleiman.
Buhari.
That is very clear. That does not need translation, does it?
Yes.
A very good
No,
article.
I think the
What do you
article is
think?
self-explanatory and the language is more ambiguous.
Self-explanatory. Yeah, very good article. Very, very good article. So that's all we got for today so far. I think we got 17 people on there watching. That's good. And so I don't know if you and Abdullah and Bukun has a final say. That's my own final give for the day. I think we covered a lot. Let me see how long we were on.
To
Almost
our 30 minutes.
more than 2 hours. I didn't know 2.5 hours. We've gone a long time. Anyway, you guys have a final say and to thank the people who joined us, and then we can continue later for some more interesting discussion and article. Thank you all
Yes.
for
Thank you
joining
everyone
us.
for joining
I'm
us.
Alaba Ferreira from Chicago. Go ahead, the rest of you.
Thank you everyone. Okay, thank you everyone. We thank you all for coming and we always look forward for your contributions, your comments, your suggestions, and keep bringing more people. This is a movement of like minds trying to what? Liberate Nigeria, trying to make things work the right way in Nigeria and giving you the true human angle story, not what they want you to hear. You can even share your stories with us, the real time stories that happens to you or anyone close to you. So we say thank you once again. Keep coming, keep inviting your friends. This is Abdullah Salisu from Abuja.
Thank you so much. Thank you so very much. And of course, our Obodo, Nigeria people, we thank Ona as Ona come watch our show today. And we hope, say, not be just to watch. You were able to learn quite a number of things. Starting from our article, we talk about why we'll be zombies for Nigeria and how colonial education and religion and media and family control now they're responsible for this thing. Then we also moved to other quotes by interesting personalities like Mandela, Martin Luther King, and many other things. So our show today makes sense where we are. And to this very last one, where we talk about Nigeria, where we say, as we take be like this, our matter everywhere where it go beyond just treating every issue from the standpoint of violence. Our issue is psychological. It is our mindset. People will be say they deal with us. Now for our mind, now that they tackle where. And until we change this mindset, the entrenched mindset that has been, indoctrinated on us right from young age, we no go fit make any progress. And this progress we will need now go make us, live like a human being, just like many other countries where we say they are living in a prosperous life. We want justice. We want peace. We want development. We want progress. Now, the thing we want for Nigeria be that. And there's no way we are going to have all of these things if we not put up a fight. If we know the program from the colonial mentality where they for our mentality, where would they get as where they show for our behavior, we have to change. We have to hold our so-called leaders that have turned themselves to rulers. We have to hold them accountable, and we have to be fearless. Make we not forget, as they always talk, say our problem a day around our collective silence. All right. And of course, the big man among us